Hey guys, Chad Corbett, co-founder, trainer, and wearer of many hats here at alltheleads.com. This is part of our Tips from the Trainer series. If you find value from these, be sure and click like, and if you're in YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe below. That way you'll get notified as soon as we put a new Tips from the Trainer video up. If you're watching this from our blog at alltheleads.com, all the way at the bottom you can subscribe to the blog, so you'll get an email every time one of these are uploaded. We do different series. We have Tips from the Trainer, Ask the Expert, and other different training videos. And we do a lot of stuff with other folks, other experts from the industry. We have a series called Ask the Experts, where we bring professionals that are more experienced than us in other spaces, but still relative to helping you grow your business. Today, we're going to talk about direct mail. We're going to talk about what doesn't work and what does work. And I have a lot of mail pieces around from the time I kind of transitioned from resort sales and development into residential real estate. I was willing to try just about anything. And I've personally spent tens of thousands of dollars on failed mail campaigns, so I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't. This is the what doesn't work pile. You can see there's quite a bit of different colors, shapes, fonts, a lot of things in here. We're not going to talk too much about this pile. This is the pile we want to focus on, and this is kind of top to bottom the evolution of what I learned about direct mail and in my geekish testing and tracking what actually worked for me. So if you were investing back in 2011, 12, this was the letter that was working, man. These were invitation envelopes that I picked up at Walmart. I could get this mail piece out the door for about 58 cents, I thought. What I wasn't accounting for was my time. So this is a yellow letter. Anyone who's in the investing world will see this. Realtors, not so much probably. But just a simple legal pad paper, quartered over, and put in an invitation envelope. These got great response rates. However, it seemed to drop off. Like between 2012 and 2014, I would say these went from being the most effective to hardly effective, at least for me. And I think it's because whoever I first saw this from, everyone else probably saw that too. So it was just, there was so much of this out there that they kind of lost effectiveness. So as I got into this and started mailing more lists, and this pile consists of, obviously, I settled in on Probate as kind of my favorite list. They were the best clients. I had no competition. But especially in that pile, you have lists like high equity that hadn't transferred in more than 9 years. That was a test list I did. One of the worst failure campaign I ever did was it was a list of high credit renters, so 720 credit scores and above. They had been at that address for at least 10 months, and maybe that was the only criteria. Oh, they had a median income of at least, I think it was $45,000. So a really pretty good buyer's list, right? And it was in the fall. It was in October. So I put a Halloween theme to it, wrote what I thought was the best letter ever, and it could have been. The envelope sabotaged me, but it was anyways. It was, I know whose mortgage you paid last summer. So it was kind of a Halloween theme. So I put it in blaze orange envelopes. What I later learned after getting like almost 1,000 pieces of return mail is that the postal lasers were having trouble reading that blaze orange. Like it was a thin black font on blaze orange, and that was just wasted money. I wasted a lot of money on that campaign and got a 0 return. So I've got a lot of experience falling on my face in direct mail. Some of the things that I tested I won't even show. But I'll show you the evolution. I kind of went from this to sending more and more and more mail. So we went to a white number 10. We stuck with the hand addressing and the live stamp. This is probably, other than the blaze orange envelope and like a windowed business envelope, probably the worst mail piece I've sent. This is common mail. This and a lot of marketing companies use stuff like this now. It gets trashed. So from there, I'm like, well, what if I could still keep the cost low, stay with a number 10 and start doing pastels. So this is an example, again, handwritten. It does have a live first class stamp and a return address. Nothing on the back of this one. These, less than 1%. Still not a good mail piece. This one I included because I had it pinned to the board. I have mail sticking around that comes back to me. This one actually was a probate, and this is a return to sender, which is really rare on your probate list. In this particular situation, mother lost her daughter, moved from this address into the deceased last known address, which was a condo. And I ended up getting this deal on the phone, even though the mail was returned. That's the why you should always follow your letters with a phone call, because she never got this letter. She left that house, didn't file for a change of address. Next, we went to greeting card envelopes, and I started out with white. And you see there's no return address. It does have a live stamp, but no return, nothing on the back. These work well. So I was getting 2% plus on these. If I would send out 100 letters to a probate list, I would typically always have at least 2 good conversations that I would turn to listings. And then it evolved even further than that. I started testing a lot of different things. This is what we're currently sending from our mail house, where I settled in after lots of testing. So sending this type of letter with a return address, I tracked my first 12,000 pieces of mail, and I had only 6 returned to senders. So the probate list is really accurate. We do address validation, so now it's even more accurate than then probably. So I don't do a return address, mainly because this is curiosity. So this is a greeting card that's handwritten with nothing on the back. It has a stamp. It looks like we sent this, but no return address. So this is mail that gets opened. I have tons and tons of stories about these sitting around on coffee tables, being under fridge magnets, and a year or 2 later, someone finally has a breakthrough. They pick up this letter and they call you. You can see, so that was a green. This is a blue. We have kind of an off-white or ivory. And we also can do plain white, and this is an example of one with a return address. But what we found, and this is still effective, at least up to 2019, that the greeting card envelopes are very effective. We still have, even in the most competitive markets, every week we hear stories about, subscribers who are sending mail, and they show up and there's 40 or 50 letters at the personal representatives at the appointment. And what they find is they were the only one they called, because the mail piece was unique, the envelope was unique. But once they opened it, obviously the letters that we provide to you guys are very unique, and those are all proven. And envelopes aside, even when I settled in on these types of envelopes, there's still dozens and dozens of letters that were absolute failures. I actually just read one out of this pile that I'm still just shocked didn't work. It was a 3-page letter that I wrote highlighting problems and solutions and stories from my probate experience. And reading it, I wanted to list my house with me just reading my own letter. But it was a complete failure. Like, it wasn't good. I probably studied 30 to 40 hours of copywriting, like reading books, talking to people, listening to podcasts, like trying to become a better copywriter. Thought that was like the crown jewel letter. It was the one that was going to, really send us to the moon. And it ended up being a simple 1-page letter that actually did that. So don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to switch things up. Eventually, we're probably going to have to deal with the next solution, whatever that might be. But for now, that's why we use the envelopes we use. They do stick around. They do get open. They do stick around. Something else I'll say, every letter that I send at the bottom, I don't know if I can find one here without awkward shuffling, but at the bottom of every letter I do a PS line. So PS, if you're not ready to talk to someone yet, please check us out at our website, www.probatepro.com. What I found here in Roanoke, if I would mark the calendar, I'd know just about the day the mail would fall, and then I would seed my list. The day I got my letter, I would jump into WordPress Jetpack Analytics or Google Analytics and see how many web hits I had that day. I purposely didn't try to index my site, so organic traffic was never there, search traffic either. So when I had traffic on that site, that told me clearly people were seeing the PS line of my letter, because that's the only place they could have gotten that. What was interesting is usually between like 1 and 3 o'clock, I would get, out of 100 letters sent, I would usually get 50, 60, 70 web hits on the page. And I give the website a lot of credit for the come list me calls or come buy this house, I need rid of this thing, because people would open these letters, they would go to the website, learn about me, I guess probably make the decision that I was the right person to help them, and then continue doing nothing, continue procrastinating. But one day, whether it was, it was, super hot and they had to mow that yard one more time, or whatever that breakthrough was that motivated them to finally take action and move forward with what they knew they should have done, they went back to these letters, picked up the phone and called. But they already knew so much about me. So I give the website a lot of credit. So don't be afraid to change your letters. Get your own personality into it. Always have a PS line. Make sure you put your domain in the PS line so they have more than just one page to kind of do their due diligence on you and your business. Give them other resources. Use a credibility website, even if it's just a page on your existing website, or if you use one of our custom WordPress websites that's set up specifically for that type of traffic. But anyways, so this is our direct mail. If you have any questions, guys, you can comment below. I will be out of town for the next few weeks, but someone on the team could help. You can always jump in our Facebook group. If you're on YouTube, you can comment. But if there's any way we can help you guys with direct mail, and by the way, for anyone who doesn't know that might be watching this, we have a full-service mail house. So we do trifold brochures, business cards, postcards, letters. We can do business envelopes. We can do greeting card envelopes. Basically, if you can think it up, we can help you design it and get it out the door. So keep that in mind. If you do want to learn more about it, you can always email support@alltheleads.com and ask somebody to help you with a custom mail request or custom mail order. Again, if you find value from these videos, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can like this video below and click subscribe. Check out some of our other videos here, not in the microphone. We have tons of content like this on our blog, on our YouTube channel. If you found value in this stuff, be sure and check out some of our other stuff, guys. And thanks so much for watching. This has been Tips from the Trainer.